I stopped eating in general. I just stopped eating. And then I went to another extreme where I was completely, underweight and struggling with energy and sleep and everything. So that was like, you have to be as skinny as you can, right? I used to go for fittings and they would say, can you lose like 2 centimeters of your waist by next week? So I was going through a lot of changes. I was with a small baby. My baby was like 2 years old. I was getting divorced. It was not a pleasant time in my life. And I felt like going in the gym helps me to feel like I am in control. There's nothing wrong with having a protein shake. I know a lot of people think it's only for people who work out, for people who go to gym. So 75% of women do not want to go in the gym because they don't know how to use the equipment. It's your journey now. Enjoy it. Don't just think about that end goal. Enjoy the journey.
Welcome to Coaching Conversations with me, Ellen May. In this episode, I'm thrilled to be joined by Agnese Huntington, who has a powerful journey in the wellness industry spanning nearly a decade. With a core belief that mind-body alignment is key to peak performance, both in and outside of the workplace, she's made a profound impact on countless individuals. Her story began in Latvia, but her dreams truly took flight 15 years ago when she stepped into the gym. Today, she specializes in shifting perspectives on nutrition and exercise, motivating corporate teams and inspiring lasting change for individuals and organizations alike. Welcome to Coaching Conversations, Agnese. I'm thrilled to have you here. I think that I am particularly very interested in what you do and the work that you do and the knowledge that you have as well. And hopefully you'll be able to share a lot of that knowledge with our listeners and viewers today as well. So first and foremost, I probably think that the best place to start is with your 3M method, because everyone likes something that they can follow and follow quite simply. So if you can describe that, that would be great.
Of course. Hello, how are you? I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me. And I would love to jump in and explain what does the 3M method mean, how I came around it. So basically, I'm a coach for women as well for corporate companies, but I can talk about it a bit later as well. So what does 3M method stand for? So that is 1M is for mindset, then it's movement and macros, right? So I believe all these 3 pillars are really important for your change, for your habits, for building new routines. It doesn't start just with one of them. It has to be, all of these 3 has to be aligned. And when I work with women, I always make sure that I cover all the basics, because some of them some of them come to me and they say they want to lose weight, but sometimes there's another block that is in their mind about their perception about themselves, or something maybe in earlier days that they have had some trauma around the food, or they use food as comfort food, so these are the things that I try to uncover and see where do they need most support. Some of them are really determined to do what they need to do, but they don't know how to use maybe nutrition. What do they need to eat? How much protein they need? How many calories they need? So this is then where I can support them. Or is it training wise? They need more support. So this is how it works. And this is what I use with all my clients.
So just to clarify, the 3 M's stand for what?
So it's mindset, movement, and macros.
Okay, amazing. So we'll delve into those a little bit deeper without a doubt.
Yeah.
But before we do that, can you share how you got into coaching and why you particularly decided to focus on women's health, Agnese?
Yeah, I remember from early age when I grew up in a family. I'm from Latvia, typical family, post-Soviet Union kind of growing up mentality. There was not so much access to training as it is now. It was more like there's a sports lesson in your class. You did skiing, you did basketball, things like that. but I never really fitted in any of these categories. I was not really fast. I was not really agile. So I didn't ever think that I am good at sports. But I loved horse riding. I loved, like hiking, but those were not as, people don't see it as a sport. They just, when you talk about sport, people think either you're in a gym or you're a good runner. There's like just this perception about training. So when I moved to Dubai, like I think 16 years ago, 17 years ago, when I started I joined the gym, and I realized I really loved being there. And so I realized there's so many variations of sports. It can be swimming, it can be cycling, it can be running, anything that you want, that is a sport, So this is what I really wanted to pass as well to other women, that to understand if you're not good at one thing, it's okay. You can still pick up on other things. And in a way that I got into sports at that time in my life, I was going through a lot of changes. I was with a small baby. My baby was like 2 years old. I was getting divorced. It was not a pleasant time in my life. And I felt like going in the gym helps me to feel like I am in control. And it kind of made me more accountable for my other areas in life as well. So let's say when I had to go to the gym, I knew I have to wake up earlier. So, and I'm like, okay, so I'm timing my meals as well better. I'm being more organized, and that kind of came all in the other areas of my life as well, at work, at personal life, in my relationship with my son. So this is something that I really wanted to show women, even if you're busy, even if you have family, even if you have social life, you can still achieve your goals, and it's actually going to benefit you.
Great. So I've talked before actually with Dr. Jonathan Griffin on a previous podcast about the fact that people say they don't have time. They don't have time to exercise. But he was saying that it's not that you don't have time, it's that it's not a priority. And if it's not a priority, then that's fine, because you might prioritize other things. When it comes to prioritizing, let's say, looking after your body, moving, and exactly like you did, deciding that time, no, I need to go to the gym. How do we change that mindset from where someone might be now if they're listening and thinking, I know I need to exercise, and I know I need to move, or I need to do something, or find something that keeps me, fit. What is that mindset shift?
Yeah, that is such a broad topic. It's like such a big topic, because I saw that podcast, and I think I was like, so I was thinking, like he said, priority, right? It's not your priority, and that is absolutely fine. So, and this is what I tell some of my clients, when I don't see they are progressing as they could be, I would always sit down with them and say, what is your current priority? Is this something that you really want to actually do? I had a client just recently, she just delivered a baby, and she said, for me, the priority now is to be with my son. And I'm like, okay, that's perfectly fine. So because whenever you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, you are building really, like, you feel guilty, and that doesn't help with anything. So just better leave it and move on, and do it when you actually feel like it's your priority. The other way, what I was thinking, it's, I studied Jay Shetty certification school. So one of the things that I learned there is the energy versus time, right? So what is in your life, your priorities change and evolve, and things are different. So when you are, let's say your work is a top priority, you need to really, you have a project that you're working on, right? And it's really important for you. So think, how much of your time can you invest in that with 100% of energy, right? So if it's 2 hours, then let it be 2 hours, but you go in full on and you really have your 100% dedication there. Exercise, when it's not anymore as such a big priority, but it is still there, think, how much time can you give it, but with 100% of your attention? So if it's 30 minutes let it be 30 minutes, but just really stick to it. So I think it's just like really understanding how much can you give it. So don't think I suddenly need to train for 2 hours a day. And, like it's not that. You can choose. There's other ways. There's always a way to make it work.
I absolutely love that perspective, Agnes, and I haven't really heard it put like that before. And I guess you can apply that to anything in your life, isn't it?
Yes.
You could go in the kitchen and cook a meal for 3 hours if you wanted to,
Yeah.
but how much of your energy is going to be in
Yeah.
that? Same thing with everything. Absolutely love that. So when it comes to nutrition then as well, the reason that we got connected with each other, because I was invited to one of your webinars about protein. And I think there's so much about protein at the moment that it's, so much that's talked about it, but that it's everywhere as well. So much is going into the branding of protein products. We've got protein yogurts, protein shakes. We've got huge protein stands in supermarkets, even to ensure that people, think that they're getting enough protein. Let's go back to the very basics, if we can, to begin with. So, for any women listening, and I know there's contradicting data out there, some people say as low as 0.8 grams per kilo of body
Yeah.
weight. Other people I've heard say even as much as 1.6 grams of protein per kilo of body weight. What, for anyone listening, is the simplest way to make sure that they're getting enough protein? And I'm going to do a stacking question here as well. And why is protein so important for women as well?
So protein is as well a big topic. There's so many things that I can say. And I know I just actually did on Instagram, I did post about protein, and I said and I did a poll saying how much protein do you think you consume a day? Is it below 90 grams? Is it over 120, or you have no idea? And the surprisingly was that most of the answers were they have no idea how much protein they actually consume during the day. So if I have to be like really easy to understand, it's imagine if you have 4 to 5 meals a day, I would like you to have there at least one like 100 grams of protein in that meal, which 100 grams of chicken is like 26 grams of protein. So aim for that to have at least, I would say 1.8 grams of protein per body weight. So it depends as well of your age. It depends of your goal. It depends of your current physique. So it's all really varies, but I wouldn't say lower than 1.6, 1.8, even 2, 2.2. So it's like a broad thing. So because protein is really important for you with everything. It supports your sleep, your digestion, your lean muscle mass, your fat loss, even your blood sugar levels, your stress hormones. So it supports all of these things. And it's so important that you understand that you need to spread out the protein throughout the day. So you have better blood sugar levels. They don't spike up. You don't feel tired after your lunch. So, so it's all equally divided. It supports as well bone health. It supports muscle mass. So it's really important.
So you said something interesting there that I'm going to have to follow up on. Is you said if you eat 4 meals a day. For me, I don't eat 4 meals a day. I eat maybe two and then a smaller meal, for example. And then perhaps if someone is, in the office all day, let's say, they might even skip lunch, and they might have, breakfast before they leave, dinner when they get home.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, counting things and looking at labels is incredibly dull and boring. I'm sure there are people listening that absolutely love doing it, counting everything. Yeah, you included, yeah. But for me, it's incredibly dull. I just do not have the time or the patience or the mathematical skills, if I'm honest, to be able to actually work it out. Is there a formula or something very simple that people can do that they can kind of, almost look at their plate and thinking, right, okay, does that look like I'm having enough protein in that meal? Or do you suggest, let's say, filling in the gaps with protein shakes, for example?
I hear that a lot from my clients saying they don't have time. Some of them eat only 2 meals, which I feel it's for me, it's really like, I want to say, no, you need to eat more times, but I understand like this is their habits, what they have formed. So it's really hard, but I would say if you have 2 meals, then have at least like 2 snacks, and 2 snacks, have them high in protein. And, what I always say, look at your plate and imagine there's your portion, right? So the correct serving of the protein would be like a fist of like your fist. That would be the size of the chicken, the beef. So that would be around 100 grams of the meat, or chicken or fish, whatever that is. So aim for that. So then make sure if you have 2 of those, so that means you're consuming probably around 50, 60 grams of protein. So you need to have at least 2 servings like that, as another 2 servings. What I would say, if you're not somebody who wants to have full meal, then I would say have that Greek yogurt with some maybe protein powder, or the high protein yogurts that you can find in stores, but just check the labels to see that it's not full of artificial sweeteners. It's not full of, high in fats and things like that. And, I would say there's nothing wrong with having a protein shake. I know a lot of people think it's only for people who work out, for people who go to gym. So, but it's a supplement that you supplement your body with the missing protein, right? So it's completely fine to have 1 scoop and have a shake, add some berries, add some oats, some almond milk, and then it's a quick way to have it, right? So it's like you don't have to stress about getting so much food in, but just have a quick shake.
And in your opinion and your expertise, Agnes, do you think that women are often eating too little, or are they eating too much? Or is there a big kind of, I actually don't know how many calories I'm eating, for example. What are you finding when it comes to what people know they're putting in their bodies?
I think they really don't, they miscalculate their calories. They think they are not eating a lot. They think they are healthy. Perhaps they do have healthy habits, but they don't count the things like quick snacks somewhere. Handful of nuts can contain at least 300-400 calories, right? So they just, I just had a healthy snack, then I had a quick drink, which had like latte with some whipped cream, syrup, that's another 400 calories. And then, so you think, oh, I only have around 1,200, 1,400 calories, but actually you're consuming at least another 800 calories extra that you don't know. And then you go out on a weekend and you think, now I deserve to have this nice special meal, so that's another 3,000 calories. So, I think they underestimate the calorie intake. I think that protein wise, they, overestimate because they don't have enough protein, but they have all the other things, too much. So it's kind of like you need to understand where's the balance. Like, have your food, but add some healthy protein and remove some of the stuff that you're having.
And then when it comes to balancing that with supplements, and that only this morning even I had someone text me saying, which supplements do you take? How are you ingesting things? What are you taking and at what time? We've discussed before creatine. We've discussed various different things. If someone was listening today and they were a woman and they were just thinking, they were confused basically, because we see so much out there. There's always a fad, there's an it supplement that everyone must be taking. You can't possibly live without it. I know that everyone is different and our bodies are very unique and our wants and needs are perhaps different. But if there were, let's say, a top 3 supplements that you would recommend taking for any women, what would they be?
I actually did one of the workshops in one of the places specifically about supplements, right? So it's really, as you said, it depends on each person, right? Because we're all different in different times of our lives. First of all, what I would say, what is your nutrition like? What do you eat? before starting to take supplements, they like really nail your basics with the food, because you get most of the nutrition from there, most of this, things that you need, vitamins and everything. So understanding how you eat, if that is all perfect and really you cannot find anything and you still don't feel like you're getting everything, the second thing I would ask you to do a blood test to really check all your levels with everything to see what you're missing, what you're actually missing. Because as well, supplementing something that you might not need can cause a, opposite effect, right? So it might not be good for you. So checking really what you need. Maybe you're low on iron, which women are, vitamin D, vitamin C. I would say if you're just really want to take something for better health, I would say vitamin C. If you're training, take the creatine, multivitamins, just general multivitamin for women. So, but if there's something extra that you want to add, it should be based on your blood work.
So let's say that someone wasn't able to do any blood work, and you said, if you're missing anything, are there any key signs that people should look out for? And in your experience, what are they? Is it, for example, that someone feels tired all the time, or they feel lethargic, or that perhaps their libido's gone, or that there are various different things? Is it to really pinpoint and really to kind of ask themselves that question? What am I feeling and what am I lacking?
Yeah, I think you would notice that all as well. Like even if you are somebody, if it's for prolonged period of time, you're feeling tired and just your head is foggy and dizzy and you don't know, you're really nailing your food and everything's fine. So if it's still continuing, then you're like, okay, there's something is not okay, right? It's the same like you cut your leg, you know that you need to go see a doctor and get it checked out. So it's the same with your body, other things that you're feeling. So maybe you cannot fall asleep. Maybe, you're not having the energy at the gym. So it's all like, all of these things are like, okay, that's a sign that something is missing, because you should be feeling energized and pretty much like most of the time. So, yeah.
Okay. When you're working with women, then, what are some of the biggest obstacles and barriers that you feel that women come across when it comes to prioritizing their health?
I think most of it's lack of time. And I mean, thinking that you have a lack of time, because I always feel like if you want something, you will find a way to do it, right? So you just need to really structure your day a bit better and implement that as a habit in like your training or food prep or anything that is. As well, what I just read the latest survey from Gymnation, if you know Gymnation gyms. So what there's around 10,000 people that were surveyed, and one of the obstacles that women face, like I think it was 75% of women, do not want to go in a gym because they don't know how to use the equipment. So they are intimidated by the equipment, So that is one of the other things that I find they don't feel comfortable going in a gym, training and being watched kind of. So that is the other thing. And the third thing that I always notice is the self-belief, that they don't even believe they can change. So they tell me, I know I'm like this. I have been like that for many years. I cannot change anything. So you need to kind of break that mental barrier from your mind.
That's interesting, that last point, because I work with a lot of women on the similar, subject as well. If someone is listening and they actually do think, no, this is it now, this is it for me, I'm not going to change. I'd like to change, but these are the cards I've been dealt, so that's it. What is that first step to make that mindset shift?
To seek help, to really ask somebody who is more experienced, to ask for support. and think about it as a step-by-step change. Don't think about like this big change that you're going to make, but think about, like, let's say today, if I ask you today, what can you change today to be closer to that goal that you want? If you tell me today, I think I can maybe do 500 extra steps a day, that's already you are closer to your goal, right? So that's once you achieve that, you start to believe a bit that you actually, oh, actually I can do this, right? And then you add another thing and another thing. So that's going to really make you stronger about your own capability, so start small, a step by step.
We're living in a time, aren't we, Agnes, where everyone wants things yesterday. It's, 6 weeks to a flat stomach, or 5 weeks to a bigger booty. There are so many things out there that kind of guarantee results in minimum time. And I think that we're becoming so used to seeing those things now that perhaps we're losing sight of how long a journey actually does take. When it came to your fitness journey, let's go back and talk through how it started for you.
Yeah, I think that's a lifelong journey. I feel like for me, it was all about, when I was a teenager, I was quite a bit of overweight and I was struggling with my body image, and I didn't know, I had no idea how to eat. I had no help around. There was no internet to find any kind of things like what is available now. So I just kind of I stopped eating in general. I just stopped eating. And then I went to another extreme where I was completely, underweight and struggling with energy and sleep and everything. So I think that's where my journey kind of started, even from when I was 16, 15. So it took me years to really understand. And then when I moved to Dubai, I did modeling and I did promotions, I did events. So that was like, you have to be as skinny as you can, right? I used to go for fittings and they would say, can you lose like 2 centimeters of your waist by next week? So it was like really harsh environment, especially if you're somebody who's really easily to be influenced. So there was times when I would just not eat at all because I have next week some show and I have to fit in. So I was so scared to eat. I was scared. And then when I only really got into bodybuilding and I started looking at doing competitions, and I had a coach, I remember till now, like, he told me, this is your food that you need. And I'm like, oh, no, I cannot eat that. That's like way too much. Like, no. And he said, if you're not going to listen to me, I'm not going to work with you. Like, this is what you need. This is your health, and you're completely ruining your health at the moment. So I was like, fine, because I really wanted to work with him. And I was like, okay, fine, I will do it. And only then when I actually let it happen, and I understood that it's the best thing ever, because you can eat, you can feel strong, you can feel energized, and it's amazing feeling. So that's where my mindset kind of really shifted. And I think there's always something I want to change and improve and do better and different. But that was the turning point for me.
Wow. So they all sound like quite dramatic kind of periods in your life then. I'm very interested in the bodybuilding world, so we're going to have to delve into this. What was the decision then from just Agnes just going to the gym to the Agnes that wanted to become an IFBB pro and have a coach?
Yeah, I mean, I always, whenever I looked at this scene of bodybuilding and competitions, I just loved because I used to be on a stage for modeling, but it wasn't my thing. I always felt like you need to work for it to be there. Like, it's something, I don't know, like it was in my head, like I really want something more. And then when I discovered the competing world, I really loved the mentality of the people. A lot of my friends are competitors. So I just love the mentality, the resilience, the discipline that it involves. And I really wanted, and I remember I wasn't even really in the gym scene when I said, it was one event. I think it was like 10 years ago when I was at this event about NLP coaching. It was, and there was like, what is your dream? What do you want to achieve? And I stood up and I said, I want to be IFBB pro. And that time it sounded ridiculous to me because I'm like, come on, I don't even train really properly. But that gave me that once you voice it out, once you write it down, it becomes a reality and you can actually see how that becomes. So then I started really training. I got a coach. I said, this is my goal. This is what I want. And when you're somebody who just starts in fitness, it's actually so much easier to get progress because you're new, you're fresh, you have a lot, you know, there's so much you can achieve because it's all building new muscles, new things. So it's a lot like quicker. The results will be visible sooner if you're really into it. So, and I saw that change and I was like, that was incredible. So I did my first show, I think in 2018. Yeah.
That's fantastic. So those beginner gains then that you got at
Mm-hmm.
that very beginning are possible for anyone that haven't done exercise and are going into exercise.
Yes.
So I'm sure everyone's very interested, Agnes, in knowing what a typical day looks like for you then. Can you talk us through it?
Yes. I know it might sound crazy, but my day starts around 4 a.m. So I wake up, I have my it's literally like 10 minutes. I get out of bed, I have my pre-workout meal. Then I go to gym and I listen to my audiobooks because I don't have, like, this is the thing, I don't have time to read. So I found I'm like, okay, I'm going to listen to the books instead, you know. So I get to the gym, I train. I'm usually there for an hour and a half or 2 hours. I do talk there as well with people. That's the thing. You go there and you find people to talk to. Then I go and I have usually clients in the mornings. So I do training PT for like 7 a.m. to like 9 a.m. And then I come home and I do work. I work on my laptop. I have my calls with clients. And then my son comes home from school. We go for a walk, hit our 10,000 step goal. And that's like really just, that's my life. And then I go to bed by 8:30, 9.
Okay. And when are you fitting meals in? So you said you have a pre-workout meal, and then are you fitting in another 3 meals between
I
what
have
you're
5
doing?
meals in total.
5.
Yeah. So that would be one I after training that I have. Either it's in a gym or I have it at home. And then I have another, like I try to eat every 3 hours, every 2-3 hours. And the last meal is around maybe 7:30 in the evening. So yeah.
Wow. You wrote a post, I think it was today or yesterday, about recovery and the importance of recovery then as well. And it's something that I've talked about on other podcasts with people as well. And I'm a big advocate of recovery. You know, I have 2 recovery days myself, kind of in a
Mm-hmm.
week, and I do prioritize sleep myself. Why is recovery so important? Or recovery or rest, however you want to frame it?
Recovery is so important. Like I never really believed that before. I used to think more. And I remember I was training like every day, and then I went for a spin class, and then I went for a run, and I would think why I'm not getting the results that I want. So only when I implemented the rest days and recovery, it showed me how much more progress you can get if you are somebody, because your body needs to rest and repair. So during the rest, your muscles are repairing and building. So that is, otherwise, if you keep breaking down your muscle, you're not going to really get any results. So you need to recover. And it's not only for like somebody who is training, it's for everybody who is like really think about having a downtime for your mental health, for your clarity, your, you know, like your as well at work, like it helps you with the concentration. So recovery, especially if you're training, somebody who trains, really think about having at least 2 days of break a week, you know. So yeah.
So you work with a lot of executives, don't you, on when you're coaching them? What is the correlation, Agnes, between peak physical performance and then peak professional performance, in your opinion?
I think they are related. I think they are really go hand in hand. If you're somebody who is really, like you can see, I think if we look at all the CEOs or like really leaders, they are all in a good shape. They all follow good nutrition. They get enough sleep, and that gives you as well the mental clarity. It helps you with your task at work as well. If you're really organized in your other areas in your fitness regime, it helps you as well at work. So it all goes hand in hand. That's why whenever I go coach corporate companies and I talk about fitness and I talk about nutrition, because it directly affects as well their performance at work.
And then when you're working with people, I presume that you're working with people for at every kind of point in their journey then. What is, or is there a pattern of things that people are saying to you at the moment? Are they saying, yeah, I'm exercising a lot, but I'm not seeing any gains? Or I do sleep well, but maybe my diet isn't great. Is there a pattern emerging, for example?
I see that a lot of people think they are very healthy. They actually are healthy. They don't understand why they are not losing weight. And then they think they need to add, like they really need to train really hard to get some kind of results. When I'm trying to explain that the actually calories that you burn during exercise is part of like 5 to 10% of your total calories burned. So it's only 5 to 10%. All the rest depends on your BMR and the NEAT, which is the non-active activities like walking and things. So it's not like you need to jump and train and do all that. You can still get results with doing, like really looking at your food and trying to include some steps and just some regular exercise. And a lot of things, what I hear now is they have tried, let's say the 3-week challenge, or, and they don't see the results and they are really upset. When I want to explain that you have lived your 30, 40, 50 years living in your current habits and building that for all this time. So do you think that suddenly in 3 weeks, you're going to change that? Like, give yourself time, because it takes time to change. If you want sustainable results, it will take a bit longer than 3, 6, or even 12 weeks.
And is it to make sure that people are congratulating themselves for the small steps as well? It's like you said, I did 500 more steps today than I did yesterday, and not thinking, oh no, I haven't lost 15 kilos. It's that those small steps add up, don't they, to make a big difference?
Definitely. I think it's one of the most important things. Like, you need to have a goal, you need to have the big vision and the goal in mind, but then you need to create these small habits, small steps that you can celebrate. Because once you feel like you have done it, you feel so proud of yourself and you really think, I can actually do this. And it feels like the journey seems a bit easier. So definitely, I mean, not like going out for a big meal, but maybe, go for a massage or listen to some nice podcast or something small that you can reward yourself with.
So I'm going to switch back to the third M, which was your macros then as well. So macros is macronutrients, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 Can you break that down for us, for anyone listening that might hear that word quite a lot, but doesn't really know its relevance?
Actually, I put it there for a reason, because I know a lot of people, when they say nutrition, it feels like really like it's something medical or something really, people don't understand what it actually means. So when I put macros, I just want to think about it. The three basic macronutrients, that is protein, that we already spoke about, how much you need, how important it is for you. Then there is carbohydrates, which are the main source for your energy.
Mm.
We love carbohydrates, but a lot of women are scared of carbohydrates. So the carbs, right? So choose the right carbohydrate that doesn't spike your sugar levels up and, helps you with energy. And then there's fats, healthy fats as well, that we really, as a women, we need healthy fats.
Mm.
So that's like supports your hormones and, helps you in general in all the things that your body works. So these are the three kind of main pillars that if you get them right, you can actually achieve the results that you want.
Mm. And to put it in a visual perspective, or to put it in context, if we had a plate of food here now and we were thinking about all of those three, how would it look in terms of percentages, or even in actual meals? What would they be?
Yeah. So I would kind of look at sometimes it as well depends. You can usually when you are in some, let's say you're trying to lose weight or gain muscle or strength, most of the time you play with, carbohydrates. You leave the protein most of the time as it is, and you kind of change the carbs. Fats always kind of stays the same unless you are in a deficit. So, when you look at the plate, it will be carbohydrates would take up to around like 40% of your plate. So the protein as well, 40-50%. And then there's like 20% of fat. So there's actually really nice things that I send visually to the clients to understand how the plate should look like.
Okay, amazing. And are you one of these people that makes your food look beautiful, or are you like a classic bodybuilder that has broccoli on the side, rice in the middle, and chicken here?
Honestly, for now, because I'm really in a building phase and I eat so much food that I cannot care what it looks like. I just want to eat it quickly. So it's a big mess on my plate. And there's really weird combinations. Something that I forgot from breakfast, I added in there, like banana with rice and chicken and this, and like just eat it all. But when I'm more like really thinking about, like I'm more in deficit, then I would make it nice and I would vary the foods like sources a bit more. But now it's a bit the
Mm.
same every day.
Mm. So if someone's listening, Agnes, then, and they're thinking, right, okay, I've listened to this podcast, I've understood most of what's been said. Do you recommend that they sit down, pen to paper, or on their phone, or however you suggest it, and they actually write down goals and what they think they can achieve? Is that the best first step?
Yeah. So first of all, write down your big goal, but it has to be a measurable goal. So how will you know that you have achieved it? If it's, let's say you want to lose 10 kilos, then write it down. So then you think, how long do you need to do that? If you, let's say 10 kilos, you can do it maybe in 6 months, 7 months reasonably.
Mm.
So then you're going to plan that out and then you're going to see what can I achieve every month. So you'd say you can lose around 1.5 kilo, which is perfect goal, slowly, steady state. And then you think, what this month, what do I need to do that? So if it's like
Mm.
to add some movement or fix your macros or things like that. So you kind of plan it out month by month.
Mm. It sounds like you have a very rewarding job, Agnes. What's one of the highlights of what you do when you're working with people?
I love to see the change that happens. And like I have had clients who tell me at the very beginning, I don't like gym. I hate it. I will never go to gym. And now they are, even after years, they are still writing me saying, I love the gym. I'm going every day. I just cannot like live without it. So it's like the change, the mentality, the perception of the food as well. What changes their all lives. I have clients whose lives are changing because they really change their mindset and their food and everything. So just to see their results, like that I can inspire and make a change in somebody's life. I have people who are teenagers who are with me. I have like, oldest clients who are like 50, 60 years old. So there's like so many different things that people want to achieve and how they feel. But the most of all, it's like the confidence that they gain and the love for health and changing their lifestyle. As I say, I want to change your lifestyle, your habits. I don't want to give you a 1 month like kind of diet. It's not a diet. It's a lifestyle that we are changing here.
What about setbacks then, Agnes? Because life throws some difficult curveballs at us sometimes, and there are setbacks. How do you work with people when it comes to those setbacks?
This is so if there's a small setback, let's say you missed your training or you went out and you ate so much that you feel now like you feel guilty, you want to go and now run 10K. So then I'm always using this theory of like, let's say you're driving a car and one of your wheels like pops and there's no air. Would you then as well do the same to your other tires? No, you would not. You would fix what's broken, right? So like, don't give up everything if you have had a little slip. Just get back on the track and keep going. Like, it's okay. It's okay. If you have been really within your plan, you have done everything, and there's one day where you just felt too stressed or you felt, something is, something that went wrong, it's okay. If it's something bigger, like life-changing experiences, things that are set you off for longer, remember you can always come back. Don't beat yourself up for it. Just remember you already have the basics, you already have the knowledge. So what you need to do is just come back to where you left off.
So in my career, Agnes, when people used to inquire about having a stylist, they would often say, yes, 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 I'll definitely get someone to style me and sort my look out, but I'm going to lose weight first, and I'm going to look perfect before I did it. And our answer was usually, not only is it going to affect your confidence if you're just kind of not dressing for the here and now, that you're still going to hide behind what you're wearing and you're not going to feel confident, but it's about dressing for the here and now because it will last long term, basically. How does that apply then as well to the people that you work with, thinking, yes, 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 I will lose weight and then I'll start going to the gym and then I'll start doing everything else? How often do you hear that?
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, I do hear that, oh, I cannot go to the gym now because I need to lose some weight. And I'm like, but that's why you're going there. This is the people there who are for that. I think that, and I understand that. I understand what they mean because it's hard sometimes but I think I would always say you have a plan ready. You understand what you're going to do. So now it's it's your journey now. Enjoy it. Don't just think about that end goal. Enjoy the journey. And it's, because I always think it's not really about that end result. It's about who you're becoming throughout this time, throughout these, whatever, 6, 12 months, right? So once you understand and you can really enjoy and really be proud of yourself for what you're doing, it gets easier. It's the same like when I'm going for a show and there's off season where you're building muscle, you are like heavier, 10 kilos. Like I gained 10 kilos on and off. It's normal because I know I can, I know I can lose 10 kilos. I know I can gain 10 kilos, but it's hard. It's hard at first when you are, you just see yourself now, but think about the vision, who you're going to be and what you're doing now to get there and be proud for that.
And what's the mindset shift from changing exercise, nutrition, and wellness from being a chore to something that someone embraces? Because I think that that's often the turning point, isn't it? That people say, yeah, I should go to the gym, or yes, I should do more exercise. So in their heads, they're still thinking, yeah, it's a chore. It's as if, a teacher's telling me to do it. What is that shift that people can do from thinking, I know it's something I should do, but I'm really not going to enjoy it, to, yes, can't wait to get up today because I can't wait. I'm doing this at the gym today, or I know I'm going to be doing this exercise with my friends today?
I think it's more like thinking about the things that if you really don't want to do it and you would hate it, then find something at the beginning that you would actually enjoy. Go for a walk with your friend, or go for a walk, listen to a podcast, or if you don't want to go in the gym, go to a class, like a group class, if that helps you, so find ways to actually, because what I notice with people when they tell me this, they are finding excuses. Like I'm very big on accountability and, like recognizing when it's just an excuse to not do something. So if you already come in with that mindset saying, I will hate it, I will not like it, I don't want to do it, I know I have to, that's the wrong mindset coming in. Come in with thinking, I'm going to do better for my body. I'm going to help myself. I'm going to help my family. It's for like I always think about it as an investment. It's a long-term investment because you're investing in your future. You're going to be a lot more healthier when you're older. You can be able to run with your kids, run with your grandkids. You're not going to be going for appointments to doctors. You're going to be going for walks instead. So think about it as an investment in yourself.
And is it about finding something that just works for their lifestyle as well? So, for example, if they know that they have to travel half an hour to go to a gym and it's a bit of a difficult journey to get there, but they can play badminton, for example, that they know that they would enjoy, and it's 5 minutes from their house. Is it about making things fit within their lifestyle to make it that much easier?
Yeah, I actually just had a call just now today with one of the clients, and she said, I don't have time. Like I wake up in the morning, I come home really late, I'm tired. I cannot imagine myself going to the gym. So I'm like, okay, so what do you imagine you can do? Because you need to understand as well, to make a change, you're going to have to do something different. You're going to have to make a sacrifice. Like, I mean, it's not a miracle pill that I'm giving you. I'm giving you a plan, right? So you're going to have to invest something from yourself. So you tell me what can you do? Right? So it's all about, like you said, finding things that will fit your lifestyle now. And then maybe later on, when you're evolving and progressing, you might be interested to add something else to it.
And seeing as though specifically that you work with a lot of women, Agnes, how important is it to build muscle when you get to a certain age?
It's really important, like, especially when you're getting older, when you're around your, um, even after 30s, you already start losing your muscle mass and your bone density, right? So you don't want to be somebody who cannot walk anymore by age of 55 or 60. So building muscle will help you get stronger, have lean muscle mass, and have a strong body. So incorporating good nutrition, having enough protein, having strength training will help you in a long run. Like I would suggest women after 35 plus really think about building good muscle and looking after your nutrition.
And it's interesting what you said about those statistics as well. In my gym, we have the cardio machines upstairs, then we have the weights downstairs. I'm often the only woman, maybe amongst another two downstairs, whereas the upper floor where all the cardio machines are, and I think that is often, you switch a cardio machine on and there you go. It's fairly simple, and it's going back to what you said about that fear of not being able to do something, not being able to use something right as well. Do you think there's still a lot of work that could be done within gyms as well to make them kind of more welcoming to women and people supporting kind of each other to help people use things?
I think that's a lot of, like, especially here in Middle East. I think women are a bit scared to go in the weight room. But I feel like it's changing slightly. And I think that people who are in the gym, they're really helpful. If you would ask anybody to help you out. How does it work? People would be gladly to show you that, right? So, and that's one of the things. It's the fear and being intimidated by these these machines and all that. And the other thing is the perception that you should be just doing cardio because you're a woman, right? So these are two things that you need to understand, that women has the same place in a gym, in a weight room, the same like men, right? And I understand it's not easy. Like even when I go to some new gym and there's some new, I don't know how to use it. I mean, I need to look around and maybe search on YouTube or see like what other people are doing. It's okay. Like it's fine. It's part of this is what I actually want to do. I want to have a series of content that I will make for women, how to actually go in a gym and how to use all the equipment, you know.
That's fantastic. I'm sure that'd be so very useful, especially in some gyms that haven't got proper Wi-Fi and you can't even go on YouTube to find the video to
Yeah.
use the machine as well. So in terms of, we've talked a lot about what people can do. And I know as coaches, we're not supposed to be directive and tell people what they definitely shouldn't do. So let's think about the pitfalls to watch out for then when it comes to someone wanting to kind of, develop themselves. What should people look out for on their journey and stop, take a breather and think, okay, let me take a step back. This might be happening. And let me reflect on that.
And I think in terms of, let's say in terms of nutrition, just kind of look at the foods that are whole foods and avoid like these refined carbs and sugary foods and processed foods. Start with that, cleaning out just like the basic things. And then I think for the gym, like training wise as well, don't not follow like some random programs that you see somewhere online or some influencers doing, or like really understand that you need a proper plan. And that's because we have information available right now everywhere, right? We can just go on ChatGPT and say, can you give me the program? But why we are still failing, so many people are still failing to reach their goals, because there is no personal interaction there. You don't have anybody who would support you to really guide you. So I think that just really invest in yourself. Find a coach that can help you to guide you in the right direction, right way. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time over and over again.
So what have you got coming up then, Agnes? So you're hosting a lot of exciting webinars, and perhaps if there's time and people can join, they might be able to look you up as well. So all your details will be in the description below anyway. But tell me what you're working on. What's coming up?
So webinars coming up, 20th of February, I think. I'm trying to do every month, like one webinar at least. And then I'm planning to have a program, which is 3 months program starting from March 1st. So it's kind of getting ready for summer. If somebody needs that kick-off start for, their healthier path in life, then that is the right thing for them, which we will cover all the 3 topics, the mindset, macros, and movement. It's all going to be there.
How exciting. And if you had to just give one piece of advice for anyone listening to this podcast, what would it be? If they had Agnes with them in the morning at 4 a.m., what would you be saying to them?
I would say, don't be scared to be in a gym, and don't be scared to eat. Fuel your body and find the right way for yourself that works for you. And it will definitely pay back. It will show, results will show.
Fantastic. Well, I've learned so much, and it's such an interesting subject. And I can imagine that, so many people listening will have taken away so much from this as well. When are you competing next?
So it's going to be November. Yeah. Don't know the date yet exactly, but it's November this year.
Exciting. Well, all the very best with that, and all the very best with all the amazing work you're doing with all your clients as well. Agnes's details will be in the description below, her website, her Instagram, her LinkedIn, and you can find everything about her there. Thank you so very much, Agnes, for being such an amazing guest. I am going to stop being lazy and I'm going to look at the details on everything that I eat, and I am going to get a calculator out and I'm going to spend some time and do it myself. It's just, to be fair, it's something I've been putting off, basically. I think I'm healthy, but perhaps I'm not as healthy as I think I am. So thank you so very much. Is there anything else that you want to say?
I would say thank you so much for having me. And if there's any question that anybody needs to answer, I can always just drop me a message. I'm happy to have a chat.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being an amazing guest.
Thank
This
you.
has been Coaching Conversations. I'm Ellen Mai. This is Agnes. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.